All right. Wait, put my headphone on. Woo. It's very cold in here. I put a beanie on, and I got a blankie on. Okay, I got my blankie blank. Why didn't it do the? Hold on, I don't like that. You got to do the transition. There we go. Got to do it right, guys. You got to do it right. Need Luke. Vic played 40 minutes. I didn't realize he played that long, but what I did realize is that they sat him at weird times. I can make an assumption on why they sat him at one point, but it might literally be to get him rest. I could be wrong. My assumption could be wrong. It could have been to give him rest. You never know. You never know. Good evening, clan. Good evening, Courtney. Mitch said that to just give him he was tired. They already did the post games? What do you mean Mitch said that? They just didn't upload it yet? I feel like the game just came off, no? Okay, they just didn't upload it yet. I mean, I have League Pass too. I guess I just didn't watch that. No, well, my League Pass jumped to my League Pass jumped to a football game. Can you guys give me a second? I need something to drink. I feel really weird. I need something to drink. I forgot Dylan Harper was Filipino. Give me 1 second. Ugh. Hold on. All right. All right. We're back. We are back. Wemby's been in an interview right now. Okay. Yeah, I think they just finish up all the interviews first so they can upload them all at once. I feel like people are glazing KJ a bit, but I'm okay with it. I never use the term glaze, but yeah. They kind of are. This game in particular, his deep. I think that's a whole nother segment. Yeah, let me bring that up because there's this analytic that's been getting thrown around, which I think is a little silly. Now, don't get me wrong. Keldon has been better. But people taking this one analytic and rolling with it and saying, oh my God, he's this, that, and the third. But it's like, no, that's not actually true. Let me see. I think I liked it. It should be in my likes. So, chat, who all have they interviewed so far? They interviewed Wemby, Mitch. Who else got interviewed? Here it is. I found it. It makes it easier to know how many segments we should do, because we play on Sunday, so we can do 5 segments tonight. I just need to know how many. Thanks for the oh my god, it's Caps. Oh my god, it's Caps. Oh, I know whatever it says, it's gonna have something to say about. So he's gonna have something to say about Sochan for some reason. I feel like at this point you're just trolling me. Super chat from Caps. He says, at least Keldon Johnson shows up, Sochan can't even play. That is so foolish. That is the most foolish thing I've ever heard in my life. Jeez, bro. Caps is dedicated. He's very dedicated. He's very dedicated. He put in those hours. He works as hard as Sochan. You know, Caps, I know you don't care, but you know the team has said that Sochan's the first one in the gym every morning. They've said that. Just so you know. Team with the best. I think that's a whole different thing. Let's see. All right, so this is something. No, excuse me. So, who all done interviews tonight? Yeah, I guess we'll find out in a little bit, huh? No point in asking. All right. Sochan girlfriend is all right. She's no baddie. Post your girlfriend right now. Actually, don't do that. Post yourself. That's probably a little bit better. That would be a little misogynistic to be like, okay, post your girlfriend. Your girlfriend's uglier than her. That's a little misogynistic. Post yourself. Post yourself. If his girlfriend is not attractive, then I don't know what attractive is anymore. I have no idea what it is anymore. Whoa, thanks for the super chat, Larry. He says, one day you'll believe this old head 81-1. Larry, you were saying 81-1 last season too. Miami averaged 131 points. Our defense. Holy. He wasn't lying. Larry is not lying here. Okay, so shout out to Larry for the super chat. He said that the Spurs are going to go 81-1, which is ridiculous. But he said Miami averaged 131 points, which I caught a couple Miami games. like glimpses of him, like a half but he is 100%. Wow. First game, they put up 121 points. Then they put up 146. Then they put up 115. Then they put up 144. They're coming off of a 144 point game. And I know that this isn't like a good defensive team that they just went against, but like 144? Holy. Was it good defense or just them missing? Do not get it mistaken. It is good defense. It is a so what the Spurs have been doing, which has been beautiful to see, is that they're basically funneling, not to say that they're not playing good defense, they're just able to be more aggressive. Every guy on the perimeter is being up on their guy, getting in their face and forcing them to the drive. They're forcing them to be fed to Wemby. And once they get fed to Wemby, guys are rotating over, and the ball handler gets nervous because you're not going to shoot on Wemby, right? And then they end up making a bad pass, or you're forced to make or try to shoot a three-pointer, right? What makes that scary... Oh, that was weird. Sorry, I'm drinking lemonade. What makes that scary is right now the Spurs have some pretty good perimeter defenders, right? Like, obviously, Devin Vassell, Champagny, Castle, even Harper. But Fox is a good defender. Sochan is an elite defender. Like, this is going to be even better. But that's what the Spurs are doing right now. They're basically saying pick them up, point of attack, pick them up half court. Like, force them into uncomfortable spots where they have to. The best possible option for them is to drive to the basket. And they're getting killed because of it. Jeez. I wasn't aware that the Heat. Wow. Oh no, Caps just gave another super chat. What does he have to say about Sochan? Thank you for the super chat, Caps. Like, literally, you're giving me your entire rent money. Like, this. I'm gonna be rich by the end of this, just so you could talk trash about Sochan. 5 and 82 clan. What is that? What? 5 and 82. What is that? Closer to my mod. Sochan will not play 62 games. Oh. Okay, yeah, we agreed on the 62. Sochan to be back. I'm expecting him to be back next game with the Suns. I expect him and Fox to be back. But we'll see. That's what I heard from the grapevine. We'll see if it comes true, though. All right, so before we talk about this game, really quick, today's sponsor, Sleeper. If you guys are interested in daily fantasy sports, go check it out. There's a daily fantasy sports section in which you... Actually, where's my phone? Yeah, there's a daily fantasy sports section in which you make picks on what do you think? You're going to be over in points, under in points, over in rebounds, under rebounds, all that good stuff. You can do it for the NBA, NFL, anything, you name it. Now, one thing that's very interesting is if you go to the homepage and you don't want to do daily fantasy at all, that's totally fine as well, because they have a phenomenal interface here where it can show you all the instant stats, replays, injury reports, news, just anything that's going on around the NBA. So if you're interested in that at all, go check it out, go download it, link in the description below. And yeah, you can enjoy yourself. Victor Wembanyama, this was a game. All right, so let me bring up the stats here, and I'll tell you guys how I felt about this game. Okay, I'll give you my fifis, and then we'll look at the box score. So first and foremost, I don't think this was a good game from us, like at all. I thought it was very sloppy. I thought us not having a legitimate point guard it shows more and more each game. And this game was no exception to that. So if you can see here, so the San Antonio Spurs end up holding the Miami Heat to 101 games. 101 points. I'm sorry. They looked uncomfortable basically all game against us. Fourth quarter, they got going a little bit, and the Spurs got pretty sloppy. But this wasn't. I don't feel like this was a great game from us. You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't a great game from us. I thought that Wemby was a little strange at times. His shot selection, particular, was really bad. The Wemby that we've been used to that just attacks the basket. He didn't do a ton of that at times, and it seemed like he started to settle for like 3-point shots or settle for outside mid-range shots, and it was just he could have got better positioning, right? But he didn't. But he also looked a little tired. But as you can see here, he played basically the whole game, and that's what the Spurs were basically forced to do. Like before this game, I was very nervous. I got a couple takeaways. So before this game, I was very nervous, okay? Because I was like, oh my God, we don't have Cornette. We don't have any backup bigs. How are we going to handle Bam, right? Bam and Ware. Like, what are we going to do? This is not going to be pretty. Well, the Spurs answer that by saying Wemby's just going to play all game. But I think another reason why they were willing to do that, and this is why I also, not only because I've heard it, but I also think they probably expect Cornette to be back pretty soon, is because Wemby getting 40 minutes, that's not something the Spurs just do, right? And with them having, this 2-day break, I think that they probably expecting to have some guys back where Wemby don't have to put up those type of minutes. And there was points in the game where I was just like, why did they sit Wemby? But it was one point in particular where Wemby had some terrible possessions back to back. And I was like, oh, that's why they sat him. But maybe it was more so, okay, not blaming him for those bad possessions, but he's taking those bad shots because he's tired, right? Like maybe that's what it came down to. Like he's taking that because he's actually tired, rather than you're screwing up, I'm going to sit you like Popovich style, right? Because he wasn't out for that long when they did sit him. Definitely tired, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. So he was just tired. On top of that though, because I got to get through the negatives, because people were really like getting on to me a little bit on Twitter when I mentioned this. Did they move things around on this box score? I don't like this. I don't like how they got this now. But people were really getting on to me about Steph Castle, because I was continuously tweeting out, please, for the love of God, stop Steph Castle from running these sets. And it didn't come down to me thinking that like Castle's a horrible player or nothing like that, or he's just trash. It's just that when you have the option and he's out there with Dylan Harper, the offense runs smoother when Harper has the ball, because Harper can easily get to the paint much quicker and open up things for teammates and has better vision than Castle. It just is what it is, and that's totally fine. But when Mitch Johnson finally, because you could see him actually like say it on the sidelines, like, all right, we're going to allow Dylan Harper to run it. As soon as they started doing that, we looked much better. As soon as Dylan Harper got the ball in his hands and he ran the offense, Steph Castle got a wide open three. Like, and then the next play, if I'm remembering correctly, he ended up finding Champagnie for a wide open three. Champagnie missed the shot, but the offense just looked like it could actually run, right? And Castle is one where it seems like he muscles his way into the paint, which sometimes you need that, right? Sometimes that's very valuable and you need it. But in this game in particular, it seemed like we were making like silly mistakes for no reason at times. So statistically, you'll look at the box score, and if you didn't watch the game and you weren't really paying attention, you'll say Castle was great, right? 21 points, 8 assists. Well, I do need to say it. Defensive-wise, he was great, but he's always great defensively. But like 4 steals, 1 block, obviously that's incredible. But offensively, the offense was ugly. Like, it was very ugly. And it just comes down to the fact that he's not a point guard. He's a secondary ball handler, which is okay. When he's that, he's much better. And he was that in college too. That's just the type of player he is. And I know some people last live stream said, well, Clan, isn't this the same thing as when we were doing this with Sochan, where we were experimenting? And to that I will say, no, it's not the same thing. Because while Castle is getting a little bit more experience, we're in a situation that's completely different, complete opposite of the Sochan situation. if the Spurs were trying to run Sochan now at point guard and give him that experience, I will be shaking my head, scratching my head, very confused on why we're doing that, right? It just wouldn't make a lot of sense to me because we're a winning team now. So unfortunately, when you're a winning team, you need to optimize what guys do. This isn't the time to overly experiment, right? Overly experimenting right now would just be very silly. You can look at OKC, for instance. Like, you guys believe that Chet Holmgren is just a role player? Like, obviously, Chet Holmgren could be more than just a role player. Obviously, they can give him different looks and allow him to really experiment. But that's not the team right now, right? He has a superstar on the team. Right now, he's the second, but sometimes, most of the time, he's the third option. Yeah, there's no point in experimenting. You do your role. Play defense, hit threes, right? So that's how I see it with Castle. Like, the best possible position you could put him in is as a secondary playmaker. More than likely, especially when Fox come back, somebody who comes off the bench, brings that defensive intensity, plays more of an off-ball role, and he's excellent at that, being more of a connector type. He's better at that. But Dylan Harper, he's good off-ball, obviously. This game, I think he hit two. Didn't he hit 2 threes? Yeah, he hit 2 threes. He's good off-ball. I feel like his percentage from 3 has been really good this season as well. So he's excellent off-ball, but he's even better with the ball in his hands. So I just don't think this is the time to experiment. And that's all. There's no hate. It's just, and I don't even think it is an experiment. I think it's just literally, hey, he had to run point guard quite a bit last season. And, this is our best option. And, the whole thing with you've been here. You don't want to, completely take it out of his hands. But it was nice to see Mitch Johnson in the middle of this game literally like point for Dylan Harper to go ahead and have the ball and for him to do things. He's gained a lot of trust with the coach, you can tell. But soon, we won't have these problems anymore. Fox will be back, and all that we're talking about right now will be a wash. It'll all be a wash. Yeah, who's hating on McLaughlin? People been hating on McLaughlin. I cannot say his name. McLaughlin? McLaughlin? He's been good. He takes care of the ball. He kind of reminds me of Trey Jones if Trey Jones could shoot better with us. Joe Laughlin. Mick Laughlin. Okay. Mick Laughlin. Yeah, he's been good. He's been really good. I don't know who's hating on him. Who's hating on Jordan McLaughlin? Here literally reminds you of Trey Jones. Yeah, he's like Trey Jones if Trey Jones could shoot threes with us. Trey Jones been doing really well, by the way. Yeah. Anyways, I think those are all the negatives. So like I said, Victor Wembanyama's shot selection was very strange. Steph Castle isn't a point guard. I just keep pushing that. Oh, another thing too to point out, and we'll talk about it again in a different segment, I think. But Keldon's defense was pretty horrid, I'll be honest, in this game. But the team is so talented. That's the thing. The team is so talented, and we have so many good defenders till it doesn't really matter that much. Here we go. No, it's okay. It's fine. It doesn't matter that much. And also, you can finally use Keldon in the best possible way that you can use him, right? He's a player now where you bring him in. He's a spark plug. He brings that energy, but you can take him out of the lineup. I feel like the biggest issue and I'm starting to realize this, that the bigger issue with Keldon over the last few years, maybe it wasn't 100% just him. Well, I knew what type of player he was, but it wasn't 100% just him. I think it also was just a matter of the fact that you're forced to put him in certain situations because you didn't have the talent available to play someone else, right? Because I did not enjoy, and I just still don't enjoy seeing Keldon finish games in really crucial moments and situations. He's just not good at it. He makes too many mistakes. But over the season, he's been great. This game, I thought that he was good. The only issue is defense, but at the end of the day, like, you have enough talent. You're about to have even more talent that you're not forced to play anybody. If they're struggling, you can take them out, put somebody else in instantaneously, basically. One thing that's very impressive, very, very impressive from this game, and maybe you guys have a little bit better context or a different thought process on why this is incredible. So we're going to get into the goods now, the things that were good. One thing that stood out, just looking at this box score right off the bat, what the heck? Julian Champagnie had a horrible shooting performance with a plus 24, with a plus 24 plus minus. How? I haven't thought about it. I didn't even know this was a thing until just now. How is that possible? One turnover? How does he have a plus 24 contributing basically nothing offensively when that's his primary role? Yeah, statistic anomaly. It has to just be. He played well. He did play well. He did play great defense. He did play great defense. That's just kind of crazy to me. I know that teams have to respect him. Like, he's very respected in the NBA. Him and Devin Vassell and Wemby. Teams will not just allow them to shoot. Harrison Barnes too. They won't just allow them to shoot. But that is crazy. A plus 24? He played the same amount of time as Barnes. Interesting. Very great defense. Yeah. Anyways, that's just crazy to me. Plus 24 is wild. Anyways, moving on. Another positive. While Victor Wembanyama offensively took some very questionable shots, in which this is one of those moments where this is why it's always important to watch games, because while I love Victor Wembanyama and I think that he is going to be the greatest player ever, and I think that he'll eventually be the greatest player out. He'll eventually be the greatest player ever. And I think that he'll also be the best player in the NBA. I'm not 100% sold yet that Wemby's the best player in the NBA. But defensively, he's so good till you can make that argument. But offensively, he's questionable sometimes. And this was one of those questionable games, which I know he was playing a lot, and that probably tired him out. And the pace was very crazy in this game. So maybe that's what it is. But he was strange. He was strange. But he finished the game off very strong. And he hit a huge three at the end. That foul, he was really hyped for that foul he got. Ooh, excuse me. He loved that foul he got, which was nice to see. And I always get hyped when a player gets so excited from a hard foul, because they popped him. But this is what great players do, though. Even in a game that I felt like it was an off game, and people that don't watch the Spurs will see Wemby highlights and be like, "Oh my God!" But this was one of those off games, and he had 27 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and 5 blocks. He had in my opinion, had a bad game. Maybe his worst game of the season. And he gave you 5 blocks and 18 rebounds. 18 rebounds, y'all. He's incredible. Devin Vassell has been looking good. I have nothing to really say about Devin. And the funny thing about Devin Vassell, all right, I'm gonna ask chat. How do you guys feel about Devin tonight? How do you feel about Devin tonight? Because I got something to tell you. How did you feel about Devin? Don't look at the stats. Great. Quiet killer. Devin hero ball. Devin did good. Big time. He hooping this year. Clutch. Solid. Someone said average, mid, plus. Great game. He played nice. Let me tell you guys something, okay? This is the same thing that I said before. Devin Vassell being a third option. In this game, he was more so kind of like 2A, 2B option. But with him usually being kind of a third option and his role shifting this season, everyone will love him even if he has bad stat lines. Because this same game last year, if it's a loss last year, everyone would say Devin Vassell was the problem. He was trash. He was awful. He shot 37% this game. That is horrible. That's not a good percentage to shoot from the field. 6 for 16 is not pretty. Wemby had an off game and he gave you nearly 44%, right? Like, he shot terribly. But the vibes are different because the team is better and the defense is better. So he stands out a little bit more, and he's not somebody you're completely relying on all game long. It's not Devin Vassell like do or die. But in a situation like this where you have so much talent, and we're still missing a lot of our talent, but you have so much talent, he can have performances where he doesn't shoot that well, but you come out of it and like, oh yeah, he played great. He actually didn't shoot that well. But contextually and what we needed at certain times of this game, Devin Vassell played well. Stats don't mean everything. I thought he did play well. All I'm pointing out is if this is the same game last season, everyone would blame Devin Vassell for the loss. Everyone would be calling for a trade. He's playing better defense. Well, he actually did have an offseason where he could actually have an offseason, so it's helped every facet of his game. Well, defensively, everyone is playing differently. Like I said, you know, it's very obvious that Sean Sweeney has a lot of our players playing up on guys and just funneling them to Wemby. Like, not being worried if they get past you. Like, you're trying for them not to, obviously, make it as hard on them as possible. But if they get past you, it's not the biggest deal in the world. Right? You just rotate back out. Barnes has been slow. He's older. He's older. You can tell he missed. He lost a step a little bit. Yeah, his plus minus was pretty bad. But I won't blame him for that because sometimes they had to put Barnes as center. I feel like they did that a couple times where Barnes had to run center. Can't blame him too much for that. Any other positives? I won't harp on Dylan Harper because I thought he was excellent. Nothing really to say there. He was 50%. It should have been better. He missed like about 3 shots that he could make in his sleep. He just missed them. I think that's it. I was quite shocked that Carter Bryant didn't get any minutes. This also seemed like a team or a game you could have used David Jones-Garcia. I don't know. Another thing about this game that stands out to me is Carter Bryant not playing. It does make me wonder because he might end up going to the G League. Like, that's a legitimate thing that could happen. It makes me believe that the stuff that I heard about the team being back healthy and Fox and Sochan being back Sunday, it makes me believe that is true. Like, kind of preparing some guys. But I could be wrong on why they would do that. I am still shocked, though, that Carter Bryant didn't get any minutes. I feel like this is a game, if any game, that you would have been able to utilize him. We didn't get to utilize our bench that much. Felt a little bit like it felt like a playoff game where you just have to play the guys that you really rely on. I feel like Mitch Johnson was terrified of... Shoot. Yeah, well, he went 12 for 27. Yeah, I think he was terrified of Bam getting going. So you just literally couldn't sit Wemby. Bam almost had 40 minutes, so yeah, you had to keep Wemby in there the whole time. Biyombo was going to get cooked. Gosh, he was going to get cooked if he played significant minutes. At least Carter will be back in the suburbs. I love that clip. I'm just a kid from the suburbs. I'm a really nice guy. Just a kid from the suburbs. I like Carter Bryant. But yeah, so I think those are... I don't think there's anything else that I took from this game. I'll say this. The Spurs are for real. They're really good. We're number 2 in the West, and that's only because OKC has a game over on us. But they look really good. And what makes them so scary is you're missing a lot of talent. You're missing 3-point depth in Lindy Waters. You're missing a backup center to Wemby. You're missing another big man that you can utilize with Olynyk. You're missing your best or your second best player on the team and point guard. And you're missing your second best defender on the team. You're missing a lot of pieces. And yet and still, they're able to get away with these wins. Well, not even get away. I'm sorry. They're not getting away with them. They're winning these quite convincingly. This was a game that they won convincingly. They should have. They shot themselves in the foot a little bit, but I think a big part of that is not having a point guard. They shot themselves in the foot a little bit. But this is a game that they won quite convincingly for the most part. And defensively, holding the Miami Heat to 101 points when... like a chatter mentioned earlier, they average 130 is kind of insane. And they just coming off a 144-point game. So they can get going. They can definitely get going. But they can't get going versus us. And I think a lot of teams aren't prepared right now for what it's like to play the Spurs. I think the biggest test the Spurs are going to have, not only when they go against like the OKC Thunder, right? Like that's like in January. Like that'll be a huge one. But I think they'll get tested when they have these games where they have to play a few teams in their division multiple times throughout the year, where those teams can adjust and be like, okay, they know what to expect going against San Antonio. Actually, no, I said January. No, the Spurs play OKC in December, don't they? December. Okay, sorry. Yeah, they play them on the 23rd, and then I think on Christmas. We play them a lot December, January. Those are gonna be the test games. Like those games where you play these teams multiple times, these competent teams multiple times, and they're able to adjust to you. That's when we'll really get to see what's going on. Because I think a lot of teams right now, the Spurs are playing it perfectly, but I think a lot of these teams don't know what to expect. They don't know how to play it. And funny enough, I won't say I'm afraid, but I'm very curious on how things will go versus OKC, because OKC actually is a team that they're designed to be able to combat Wemby a little bit, right? Because the best possible shot on the court that you can get versus Wemby, with Wemby's there, is a mid-range shot. And a lot of teams obviously want to get into the paint. That's obviously most efficient shot, but with the Spurs, it's not the most efficient shot. Or they take a lot of threes, which we have some really good perimeter defenders. So I'm really curious to see how we will face up against a Thunder team who actually is really good at that mid-range position. That's a team that actually could give us a run for our money. The Rockets, yeah, we're having KD. Only way it'll work. That's literally it. That's gonna be your best shot on the court, facing the Spurs. No SGA fouls. Well, Sochan doesn't foul a lot, and he'll be back. Sochan will lock down SGA. I wonder, how did Sochan even do? That'd be the last thing we look at. How did Sochan do against SGA? Let's see. Wait, it's not tracking. Matchups. Head to head. totals. Okay. Yeah, how do you do against SGA? Against SGA, eight points. Yeah, SGA went 3 for 12 versus Sochan. So when Sochan was guarding him, he only shot 25%. 0 for 7 from 3. Yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. He gave Luka Doncic that work too. Luka Doncic had 30%. He was 30% from the field. 20 shots, 30% when Sochan's on him. Yeah, we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But that is the one team that I'm curious about this season. Ooh. I'm feeling bloated, guys. I feel weird. Oh. Oh. Oh, gosh. Luka's coming up, but he's hurt. Is Luka even going to play? Feel like throwing up? I don't feel like throwing up, but like my stomach is like so tight right now. I had some, nah, not Whataburger. I had some chicken. That toilet call it, man. Man, is it? Is it ever? Let's see. We got our press conferences up yet? Press conferences still ain't up. That's okay. All right, guys. So as I always say, big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this segment. Go check out the link in my description. If you want to download the app, you just use code CLAN. You get a 100% match up to $100 for daily fantasy sports. But as I always bring, oh, here's my phone. I didn't know where my phone went for a minute. As I always bring up, if you guys are interested in the app whatsoever, they have a basically social media segment here, and they got some Wemby highlights on here. But basically, you can get on the app, and there's breaking news, there's injury reports, there's highlights, there's reactions to certain things. It's a lot. It's a lot on here. So if you guys are interested whatsoever, and you want to keep up with the NBA, keep up with the Spurs, just download Sleeper, and it's a really great app for that. And there's also a segment for daily fantasy sports too. If that's something that you are into and you feel like you're good at it, then go check it out. You'll get $20 free entry just by playing. So if you want to just play, try it out, they give you $20 right off the bat. All right, so I wanted to talk about Keldon, right? So some people sent this to me, and they were like, Clan, you got to check this out. You got to check this out. You talk so much about Keldon Johnson's defense, but have you seen the latest Stat Defender tweet on Keldon Johnson's defense? Well, let's talk about it, okay? Let's talk about it. So, as you can see here, now this is before this past game, but I'm assuming it will still be the same. I mean, Spurs been playing great defensively. But it says here, best defensive field goal percentages so far in 25-26 NBA regular season. Minimum 30 total defensive games. Oh, wait. Is that defensive goal? Wait. 30 total defensive. What is that? What is that? Attempts? I actually never seen DFGA. Anyways, doesn't matter. Okay, it is defensive field goal attempts. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, defensive goal attempts? Okay. But yeah, 30 total. For a minute, I thought it was like minutes, 30. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I'm stupid. So, Keldon Johnson is number one in the NBA when regards to this. And I have a take on it. But as you can see here, you're probably wondering, where's Steph Castle? He's at 10. So, by the look of this, you would say, oh, okay, Keldon Johnson's playing better than Steph Castle. But I don't think that that's the case at all. Okay, so this is not taken away from Keldon at all. Okay, I think Keldon has been let me preface by saying this. I think Keldon has been really good. I think that he's played his role very well. And any gripes that I have about him right now is on the back burner because it hasn't mattered. And even before this season started, anything that I was worried about, I kind of said, if he struggles, it won't matter. And I'll be honest with you, even though this shows that Keldon Johnson is better defensively, I'm going to go ahead and say that contextually, anyways, Keldon Johnson has been playing against like not the best. Like the Spurs make sure that he is on the weakest player on the court. Like that's first and foremost. Like he is guarded up against role players, and then him coming off the bench, yeah, he's up against role players. But the one thing that is very impressive is that Keldon Johnson has been able to do and implement what the defensive scheme has been for the Spurs thus far, which is be a point of attack defender, and if they get past you, you're funneling them straight to Victor Wembanyama, right? And I think thus far, I don't find it more impressive that Keldon's at 29% and Steph Castle at 34%, because I think everybody would admit that Steph Castle is a way better defender. And really what it comes down to is he's actually guarding some of the best players. So this percentage is much more impressive than what's coming from Keldon. But with that being said, Keldon has been playing with a lot of energy. He has been playing his role very well. But I do think that you got to just contextualize it a little bit. Keldon isn't getting Sochan and Castle type assignments, right? He's not. And even Yen still in these games, I do see him ball watch a lot. And guys will get past him. But once again, how the Spurs have been playing it, it doesn't matter as much. As long as you rotate over, if they get past you, it's fine. Be prepared. The Spurs seems like they're very much so, I don't even know if this is a coin term or a term that people use, but they're more of an anticipation defensive team now. Like they're anticipating the next move. They know what's going to happen. They know you're not going to try to shoot on Wemby. So they're playing the lanes very well. They're rotating over and getting back to the wide open guys. So and they're forcing a lot of turnovers in doing so. So all I'm saying is I think Keldon has been playing the defensive scheme well, and this is a perfect situation for him because there's so many defenders on the team. So he can be the bully that he wants to be, and guys can honestly get past him, and it still won't matter that much, you know? And the guys that he is guarding are some of the worst players on the court. With that being said, Keldon's been good. And I do think I should give him his flowers. We all should give him his flowers because he's looked good. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Caps. Oh, my God. Thank you for the super chat, Caps. Oh, my God. He says, is Sochan released yet? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your input. So brilliant. So big brain. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that input. Good God. All right. I love when Keldon plays bully ball against aggressive teams. Me too. Me too. But does that make sense? It seems like the chat agrees. He doesn't. I don't take this and say, oh, yeah, Keldon's a great defender this year. That's come on. Come on. He hasn't been playing better defense than Castle at 10. Castle at 10 is very impressive because of who he's been guarding. Clay shooting 28%. I feel like Clay's been really bad at shooting for a minute now. Let me see what some of the comments here are saying. Spurs have 3 players in the top 10, which is expected when you're a top. Oh my God, there's a lot of Clay and the Spurs fans on here. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't notice all these. I saw a couple. Oh God. David Jones Garcia. Muse. Keldon proving the no defense accusation wrong. John says, how about those analytics you stay talking about? Oh, man. Oh, man. I guess we just Don't worry about context, I guess. Crazy, we got 3 Spurs in there. Yep. Okay, nobody else. This person just says LOL. Dom just says LOL. And there's people liking it, like they know. Okay. I think those are the only tags I got. It's all the top tags. Anyways, Clan, I agree with you. I like Keldon mostly for his energy. Yeah. Keldon has been fine. He's been good. I've liked Keldon this season. I've genuinely liked Keldon this season. I've always liked Keldon the person. I've really liked Keldon on the court this season. And the flaws that he has with the Spurs defensive team and with how good we are defensively, you can mask it. And if he's not working, you can pull him and you still have somebody to take his place. The problem over the last few years is it's starting to look like the bigger problem was you didn't have anybody to come in there really at the end of games. He's also cute, but you won't read this message. Thank you for your input. Anyways. All right, do they not have press conferences up? Dude, this is insane. When would it come up? When would it be up? Oh man. I can't be up all night. All right. What else we got here? All right. All right. Spurs fans, chat. Don't you guys enjoy disrespect? I love disrespect. I love being disregarded. I love being the underdog. And it seems like Draymond Green might have just did that. So there's a post here in which he says the Warriors, Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, and Thunder are the only real contenders in the West. I'm assuming he would still bring up the Spurs, right? You have to bring up the Spurs. But I'm curious to see what he has to say. I'm really curious to see what he has to say here, how he could justify this take. Now, before we get into it, as always, go check out Sleeper Daily Fantasy Sports. If you guys are interested in it, use code CLAN, get 100% match up to $100. Or if you just enter and you just play just for funsies right now, like you get a free $20 entry. You can just use that right off the bat. So if you guys are interested, go check it out. Very simple stuff. You just go in, say, I think that this player, who was that? Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley have more than 3.5 assists. Yeah, I can go with that. Under first quarter rebounds. That's so random. I never do the quarter ones. I don't know. I don't like the quarter ones. But I'll say less than that. You just do that. You enter your entry and you're good to go. So go check it out if you're interested. All right, let's take a look at what Draymond Green has to say here. See if he can justify his Spurs take. Oh no, I see a Cap super chat. Why is there a Cap super chat on my screen? Nothing popped up, so I think we're good. You
can get to the West.
Oh, crap. It's not on my earphones. You guys are going to hear it echo. Here we go.
Conference, which is a complete bloodbath. And obviously, we're only 3 games into the season. Everybody's jumbled up somewhere from 0-2 to 0-3 to 1-2 to 2-1 to 3-0. We're all right there.
So this is before we hit our 4-game winning streak, but still, you should be able to see how good the Spurs look by game 3.
But if you cannot see every night, the Western Conference is going to be a bloodbath. I mean, look at our game against Portland. Like, Portland looked like a good team.
Is this not insane? Somebody called me out on this, and I said this on Twitter. I was like, isn't it kind of weird that Draymond Green does these in the middle of a season between games? How is this not weird? How does no one else find that weird? That he runs a podcast in the middle of the season between games talking about the game. I mean, I guess it's not that maybe it's not that crazy because you have press conferences and stuff, but like he's literally going in on who's going to be the contenders this season, and that's weird to me. It's so weird. It's not weird. Draymond's just a man. He's awesome. It's strange. I don't know. I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine? Imagine Tim Duncan doing that. Like between games, like Tim Duncan like jumps on his podcast and talk about the next one. Imagine anyone on this team doing that. Imagine Wemby doing that. That's not weird to y'all? That's not weird? Imagine anybody doing this. It's Draymond's league, unfortunately. Yeah, it's Draymond's league, I guess. It's Draymond's world.
So, when I look at this conference, Spurs look good. Like,
oh, he gives us our flowers.
When I look at the conference, I think the true contenders, in my mind, when I think about this, is like OKC, yours truly, the Dubs, back in the Dubs Invitational.
The second team he thought was Warriors. He said Thunder and then the Warriors. Okay.
Denver. Obviously, Joker, champion, always going to give them a chance. They always going to be right there. Nightmare. Matchup nightmare for everybody. They always, the way AG's playing, Aaron Gordon has looked good. They're always right there. You know, they're gonna make a run for it. And then I think you got to look at both LA teams. Like both of those teams need good breaks, right? Like you got Bron starting.
We're getting a take about how teams look and what's going on while he's in the like. The funny thing about this, the funniest part about this is like he's in the he's an NBA player, okay? So like they have a game, they literally take a flight and they're on to the next one. Teams don't have players don't have time. You don't have enough hours because sometimes you have back-to-backs. You don't have enough hours in your day to be able to sit back and watch all of these games, right? Like they give you a scouting report. You get an idea of what your assignments are. You know who's guarding who, what you need to look out for, and all that good stuff. Like that's what you do. But he didn't actually sit down and watch all these games or watch these games and be able to fully analyze. I know he plays against them. And he's probably played them. He played them several times. So I guess there's that. But it's just a little weird for him to comment on the current season and how teams look currently when he's in the middle, like he's on the road. Is that not weird? I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too into it. Maybe it's not that weird. I think my initial reaction is it's strange.
Off the season on the bench, unhealthy. We just found out that Luka's going to be out for at least a week, you know, with some injuries, you know, and so they'll need it to break right. And then obviously the Clippers will need Kawhi to be healthy. You know, Kawhi is starting this season off strong. They'll need him to be healthy, right? Like, and again, we all need health.
I guess it's just strange to me because you have to play these teams. Like you're competing against them. You got to take their heart out. And you're sitting here talking about how good everybody will be. I don't know.
On our side. But they're going to need health. You know, you need Kawhi going through the full season and being healthy coming out of it. You know, and, you know, obviously Kawhi has struggled a bit. Not his fault, just what has happened with his body. And I know how much it means to him to want to make it through this entire season and make a run at it in the playoffs. You know, he hasn't quite had that opportunity in a while.
You have to play them.
And so I think with a couple breaks for them, couple breaks for the Lakers, they're serious. But those are the teams that I see right now out the gate where I'm like, yeah, I think those are the contenders in the West.
Why not the Spurs? He didn't really go in enough on the San Antonio Spurs and why they're not considered like a contender. Because in my mind, the San Antonio Spurs are missing, who are we missing, guys? Cornette. We're missing Jeremy Sochan, our second best defender. We're missing De'Aaron Fox, our second best player, and our point guard, because we don't really have a point guard other than Dylan Harper, really. They're missing Lindy Waters for more outside shooting, which that can help at times because Lord knows, I mean, Harrison Barnes and Champagny, sometimes they're a little off. And then on top of it, you're missing Olynyk for a little bit more big man depth. So there's quite a few players that the Spurs have been missing all season, and they haven't lost a game since what? April? They haven't lost a game since April. They haven't lost in forever. I mean, I guess you want to count the summer league. I think we lost in summer league, but we haven't lost in the preseason. We haven't lost the regular season yet. And we're missing everybody. And not only are we missing everybody, we're actively, some of these games, actively trying to lose them. I mean, it seemed like the Spurs have shot themselves in the foot multiple times, at least 2 games I can think of, where they're purposely trying to lose these games. Like, please take this game away from us. Please give us this L. And the other team is just like, no, Wemby's too scary. Like, that's how good the Spurs have been. That even when they screw up and shoot themselves in the foot in crucial moments, they still, and I think that's going to be fixed with Fox. But even in that, they're still winning and winning convincingly. This past game against the Heat, that was a convincing win. And we screwed ourselves over near the end of it, but that was convincing. That's a convincing win. I never felt once that the Spurs didn't have control. Even when the Heat came back, it felt more like okay, Spurs got to get it together. Not like a last season of, oh, well, this game is a wash. We're not going to come back. Like, it was very obvious like the Spurs could do it. Also, just like side note, I found it kind of weird initially when I saw Wemby like acting a fool after the game, like so excited about the win. And I was just like, that's weird. And then I realized the last press conference we watched, they informed him that the Spurs never been 5-0 before. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, it instantly came to me like after a couple seconds of thinking about it, because I knew that was going to be the case, that we were going to be 5-0, but like, I'm one of those that don't really care that much about it. I guess let me just throw this out here. I was wondering, I was like, how in the heck did the Spurs never go 5-0 at the beginning of a season, especially with how good we've been in the past? Like, obviously we've been on crazy win streaks before, but like starting off the season 5-0 just seems like it's something we just would have done before. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But no, we never done it in franchise history, which is strange until you think about those Spurs teams, because the NBA wants the NBA season to start off right. A lot of times with the Spurs, they would use us as a team that would be an away game for us and go against a really great team. And it's not necessarily guys or people want to tune in to watch the San Antonio Spurs. They would more than likely want to tune in just to see a good game. And they knew that the Spurs is an ultimate test. And it's kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a kind of like a baseline, or I don't know the word I'm looking for, but we were kind of a team that other teams can test out how good they actually are against. You know? So a lot of these games early on in seasons, we would go against very good teams. And then not only that, every team was out for blood against the Spurs, which that really shows how good they are, because everyone knew what to expect. They knew what level they would have to play at, and they would still lose against the Spurs. And right now, we're a team where I think we're not taking anything away from our team, but I do think we're catching a lot of people off guard right now. So that's why I really want to see us go against better teams, and I want to see what happens when we play these better teams repeatedly and they're able to adjust. Barometer. Okay, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Litmus test. Yeah, those two. Yeah, it was a litmus test to see how good you actually are, you know, when you go against us. So I guess when you really think about it, it makes sense that the Spurs never went 5-0 to start off a season. Didn't make a difference, obviously, but it's an accomplishment nonetheless. It's not like the other Spurs teams that weren't, when people weren't expecting excellence, like post Kawhi. It's not like those teams were able to do it. But anyways, but keep in mind, Fox hasn't played yet. Fox hasn't even played yet. Spurs are going to be so good. They're going to be so good. Yeah, so him saying that we're not, or not putting us in that category of teams is a little strange, especially how good we've been and what we're missing. But that's what comes with, I don't know if Draymond even knows. I don't know if he knows who we're missing. Like, you're literally playing in the NBA right now. Like, yeah, nobody's really sticking up for us right now. Oh, yeah, he didn't bring up Timberwolves, did he? Yeah, Draymond just talking. There's no way to, like, fully analyze the game. I got another reason why I found this weird, because there's no real way to analyze the game unbiasedly. I mean, these NBA players are never unbiased, but to do it unbiasedly without actually playing in the... I mean, while still playing in the NBA. Like, I don't see how you can do that. Talk about the contenders and all this. But yeah, I don't know. Also, putting Clippers over us is madness. Spurs are better than the Clippers. And the Lakers. I didn't even realize he said the Lakers. I didn't even think about the Lakers. The two LA teams. The Lakers? Spurs are better than the Lakers. I would say the Spurs are much better than the Lakers. What is Ayton going to do on Wemby? Get out of here. Yeah, he's favoring his own team. There's no way you can go about this unbiasedly. Super chat from Little Rock. By the way, I'm going to do something. All right. Surprised we actually won given how bad Wemby played. Harper and Castle really showed up tonight, though. I disagree with you on Castle. No, Castle played well defensively. Like, he was a monster defensively. Offensively, though, very sloppy. A lot of forcing into the paint. It's not like he's a great free throw shooter, so I don't know why we're foul baiting. Missed quite a few, opportunities to get teammates involved. But, like, box score wise, it looked good. Like 8 assists, 21 points. 4 steals in a block was great. I mean, it's very hard to take away anything defensively like that. But the other stats, I think, is a little misleading. Like, I don't think Castle was great. But Castle was great when he didn't have to be the point guard. He's like 50-50 when being point guard. And in games like this, you go against a slightly better team, they will punish you. Like, he mentioned the Warriors, right? Can you imagine letting Steph Curry come back? He's going to kill you. You can't let Steph Curry come back and get going. Who's going to stop him? As much as I believe in Castle and Sochan and Wemby, I believe in them a lot, but you don't want to get them going. So some better talent, you're screwing yourself in situations like this. So you got to be careful. So you can't just be 50-50. Like, your point guard need to at least be like 80-20 as far as being in control. And it seems like too often we're out of control. Dylan is very young, but I trust Dylan more. He's a good, like, 70-30 right now. But when we get Fox, it'll be a clean 80-20, 90-10 on in control versus messing up. Like, he's really good. People forget how good Fox is. Anyways, in the segment. I don't know what my cat doing. Guys, I'm going to install voice mod. I had it before, and I just never used it, or I didn't use it as well as I could have. But you know what? Screw it, bro. We're going to use it. I totally forgot. I had a lot to do today, so I totally forgot to install it. But I'm going to install it right now. And are the Spurs... I need you guys, like Spider-Man, I need you guys to be my eyes and ears out there, okay? I need you to tell me when the Spurs put up... Oops. When the Spurs put up their thing. Their post game. Because how many segments have we done so far? 3? What we talk about? We talk about not Castle. We talked about Keldon. We talked about Draymond. We talked about the game. Yeah, we just need to go over the post games. Ooh, me installing this. I hope it doesn't say restart your computer to complete it. Castle played great. Defensively, he played awesome. I'm telling you, box score, that's great. You gave me the box score and said that's great. Nah. I watched this game, okay? I watched this game. Castle put up the numbers. But it was so many times where the offense was completely out of control because he was running point. Where the ball didn't move as well as it could have because he was running point, or he made very silly mistakes because he was running point. I don't think that he was great. I think he can be better in a different role. By the way, funny enough, I don't think this is his fault. I probably should have prefaced that in the other segment. I don't think it's his fault. When I say that he wasn't good tonight, I don't think that was his fault. When he had to play the, secondary playmaker or secondary ball handler, he was really good. Like, I think that was his best showings. When he had to just run the offense and keep things under control, nah, it didn't look good. It was pretty rough for the most part. It was 50-50. But that shows how good he is. The fact that he can, in my opinion, not have the best showing in the world, but his stats look good. The same thing with Wemby. I don't think Wemby played that great tonight either. But does it matter? Nope. Post games are up. Really? Okay. Thought we were going to have to wait. Hold on, I'm trying to see something, guys. Let's see. Yo. Is that like an echo for you guys? Yes. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Hold on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Clan the Spurs fan. And you're listening to Clan the Spurs fan. See what we got here. The Devil. I think it's supposed to be Morgan Freeman, but it's not good. Yeah, it's not good. What about Baby?
Now I'm a baby. That's stupid. Let's see. Gotta figure out which ones we want to start doing. We got an Obama one?
Let me be clear. Michelle. That's stupid. Let's see.
Hello. I just need one that has an echo, honestly. We gotta find one with an echo. That'd be cool. Voice enhancer. Yo. Okay. Whew. I'm trying to see some that has like, hold on, echo. Yo. Hey yo. That might be good. So every time y'all say something stupid, I could be like, yo. Yeah, we'll do that. What are all these? Yo, who wants to sound like Mark Zuckerberg?
Celestial-nary. Hello, everyone. I am God. This is stupid. Follow it.
That's so dumb. All right. Well. All right. Well, I'm gonna mess around with it, and we're gonna figure out some that we can start using for content. That'd be good. All right. Let's turn this up. Okay. All right, guys. Let's. Wait, is it still showing up? Why is it still showing up? Yo. Okay, there we go. Oh, I guess it's fine as long as I don't hit this part. So if I turn it back on. Yo. Okay, it's not echoed. But then if I do this. You guys can't hear anything. Screw it. Okay. Anyways. Let's exit out of this. All right, let's go over these post games. Oh, one of the post games are up. I thought you guys said both of them were up. Okay. All right. So, obviously, Wembanyama's in a really good mood. He actually lost his ever-living mind after the game, in which he was telling everybody to get pumped. Yeah, we're here. I don't know what he was saying, but probably something in the lines of, I'm better than Tim Duncan. He was pumping his chest out. I mean, he was hype. He was hype, right? He was hype. At one point, I think he even looked up to the banners and flipped them off. And he was like, pop who? It's Mitch Johnson. So he really was in his zone, right? But he was really excited because the Spurs, for the first time ever, are 5-0. So let's take a look at what he has to say. It was uploaded 5 minutes ago, so the chat was correct. But before doing so, really quick, if you guys would like to check out today's sponsor, Sleeper, please go do that. It is a great app for daily fantasy sports. If that's something you're interested in, you just use my code and you get 100% match up to $100. Just use the description below, click on that, download the app, all that good stuff. And you also get a free $20 for your first time just to play, just to try it out. If you don't care about that at all, you can head on over there. And as you can see here, if you go to the home page and you go over to, well, I guess I'm already on the NBA page. You go to the NBA. You can see live games where you can't see the game, but you can see what's going on, right? It's play-by-play. You can see updated news. You can see highlights, all that good stuff. So you're not stuck on Twitter trying to search for it, because Lord knows Twitter is pretty awful nowadays. So if you guys are interested in that, please go check it out. All right, let's see what Vic has to say.
Does it feel to make history in my franchise history?
It feels great. I think it's not.
I will say this. While I made fun of him for how excited he was over the 5 wins in a row, or first 5 wins, 5-0, never doing that before, the Spurs never doing that before. And while on the other segment, I end up giving context on why that probably was, because of how good the talent was, not how good the talent was, but how the NBA structured the the schedule, in which they made sure the Spurs, because they were so good, played some really good teams early on, and you know, we had a lot of away games and all that good stuff. Like, even with all that aside, I do want to say that I genuinely think that it's special that he cares so much about this, right? It's like, obviously we all do things in, you know, we all do selfish things all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a human experience. It's okay to be a little selfish. But I genuinely think that it's something pretty awesome and pretty like pure that Wemby cares so much about this small accomplishment, right? Like, this is nothing. Like, winning, no one's going to look, we're never going to, when we think about this San Antonio Spurs team, when we think about these championships we're about to get, no one is going to think about, man, wasn't it crazy that we started off a season, I don't know, however much, 10-0 or whatever we're about to start it off as. No one's going to think about it. No one's going to care. And I recognize that Wemby probably knows that no one's going to care, but he cares because he wants to give the best product, and he wants to be part of history, and he's giving back to the fans. And he's not just doing it with his play. He's making sure that he does things that we just never seen before, right? Like, he's more, to me, he's more San Antonio than any San Antonio Spurs player we've had in the past. More than Tony. More, I know Tim Duncan is San Antonio, but more than Timmy. More than Manu. And these guys love San Antonio, right? They stick around all the time. But I think he's even more so. I never thought in a million years we would have a superstar come to San Antonio and say, hey, we need this special section that would be really cool. And actually, what I want to do is I want to have tryouts for people that could be in this section. And I heard, this is what I heard, okay? Because I don't flex sources like that, right? But like certain things I can just tell you guys where it's not that big of a deal. In this situation, when it came to, actually, I don't even know if this is out there. This might already be out there, honestly. So then it's really not a big deal. But after the tryouts for the Jackals stuff, Wembanyama actually took a lot of time looking over tape. Like, he rewatched the tapes several times to figure out who he wanted out there, and who to choose. And that could have easily just been a, hey, it's for show. I sit here, the camera's on me. Oh, I like these, and then move about his business. But he genuinely cared about it. And why I believe, well, not only I believe this because I know it's true because of what the source is, but not only do I love that, but the kind of proof in the pudding with that too is the fact that his mom actually showed up to the Jackals section and helped them with some chants, right? So that was really cool to see. So you can see they genuinely are involved. I'm sorry, that was a lot of yapping. All I'm trying to say is he genuinely does care about the San Antonio, and he genuinely does care about the fans, and that's not something that you get to see everywhere, right? You just don't get to see it. Do I think that a player like Anthony Edwards care about the fans? Yeah, to an extent. But he gives the vibes where Anthony Edwards probably cares more just about Anthony Edwards. And Wemby seems like he's someone that genuinely cares about the product, obviously his legacy, but the product, winning, his teammates, and the fans. Genuinely cares. Where's that video at? Oh, of the mom? Oh, man. Nah, screw it. Yeah, I'll find it. Let's see. I don't know if I saved it. Let me check real quick. I might have saved it. I'm sure if I type in Wembanyama, here's a picture from a few days ago. This isn't a video, but there was a video of it. But that's Wembanyama's mom right there, and she's at the Jackals section. Let me see. Okay, none of this is. I don't want something to pop up on the screen that's not okay. You know how Twitter is. All right, well, I mean, that's all I got right now. But there is video out there. of it, but you just saw her. There's proof. She was there. She's helping out. She's helping out. Anyways.
How do you say? How can I say that? It's like it's not random. We didn't get those 5 wins randomly. You know, we worked for it. We started the season strong, and we need to keep that streak going for as long as possible.
Are you able to watch all the games? I try, but work sometimes get in the way. Fortunately for me, I have been able to watch all the games. As you guys know, I'll be moving to Japan next year. Like, not in the middle of the season, it'll be later on, but I don't know what's going to happen there, bro. I'm going to have to, like, put my phone on mute, watch it when I get home, and then go live, and I'll be, yeah, it's going to be some weird times where where it might be like, Clan, it's like you're a day late. Well, it is what it is, you know. But on the weekends, I should be fine. I just have to watch it in the morning, I guess.
But, you know, it's good to see results, because we could be playing good and still not getting as many wins as we wish, but it's good to have results, and it's pushing us.
That moment late in the game when you fouled, you're on the ground, you get up, you're exhorting the crowd's chanting back at you. Like, what is that moment like for you? What are you feeling in that instant?
I mean, that instant, I'm feeling like, I mean, it's like the exclamation point, like when we like have 99% chance of winning the game. So it's just me feeding off that energy. You know, it feels great because it was a hard game, and it feels good to have this relief and to live that with these people, you know, all around us after all the efforts we did for 48 minutes.
When you let out that big scream.
Wemby was struggling, bro. Wemby was struggling. They were beating him up. Wemby got back. The one thing that makes me nervous about this, and it's just something to keep an eye on, doesn't mean that it's going to be true if I say it or whatever, but like one thing I do want to keep an eye on is what happens when Vic does go against teams. And I don't even think this team was more physical than some of the others we had, but they were definitely more talented. But I do want to see what happens when his aggressiveness is matched back, you know, because it seemed like in this game he settled for a lot of shots, but it could have been the fact that he was tired. I mean, he doesn't typically play this many minutes, so it could be that.
After the game ended, what were you thinking in that moment?
I was thinking about the 5-0 record, you know, the Spurs history, and I was just proud of being a Spur in that moment.
He ain't going nowhere. You guys like, oh, we might lose him like Kawhi. Kawhi Leonard left. Boo hoo, woe is me. We ain't losing Wemby. You got to keep in mind too, Wemby's French. All right, he's French. All right, French people love the Spurs. He grew up watching the Spurs. He loves all the different nationalities that's been on our team. Right, like a lot of people look up to the Spurs for that. We had somewhat of a European type play in 2014. Like people love the Spurs for that. So he ain't going nowhere. He want to be a part of history. He don't care. He ain't going nowhere. We losing him to NBA Europe? Maybe.
And over the last couple of years, a lot of these close games haven't gone y'all's way, but this is like 4 out of the 5 games where y'all have really had to execute in the fourth quarter or even in overtime. What's been, and you've won all these games, what's the difference right now between this group and what you have been the last couple of seasons?
By the way, the Jackals thing just came to me that they were thinking about different chants, and I was thinking, well, wouldn't it be cool if our team, for every team that we go against, we use their typical chants against them, right? Like, wouldn't that be cool? Like, if the Spurs are playing the Memphis Grizzlies, and then all those Spurs fans are screaming out, "Whoop that trick, whoop that trick, whoop that trick." I don't know. I think that would be cool. Like, flip it on their head. But that will be very difficult to remember, so I guess you can't do it that way.
The difference is already we spent a lot more time together, you know, in the past seasons, but also in the summer, and everybody's getting better. You know, it's all parts of the organization are growing, even the fans, you know. So it's just all coming together slowly. It's by no means it's easy, but it's all coming together.
As Mitch told us, you covered a lot of ground, especially in the second half. Is recovery time more important than ever for you?
Yeah, for sure. Because when when this is why
most teams don't have chants nor dedicated fans like Spurs family. Yeah, they're definitely trying to turn more. I know Wemby mentioned Euro ball, but it seems like the Spurs kind of turned to a college team, which is cool.
usage players get, hurt more than low usage. They have to take care of recovery even more, and because when you do more things, there's more muscles and more parts of your body that get sore, that get tight. So it's even more important. But we all of us, like the organization, we're getting better.
In 2023, it took until mid-December for us to get our 5th win. Y'all just gotta be patient, man. I was here the whole time. We didn't miss a night. We were going live every single loss. Every single loss. You gotta just gotta be patient.
This as well, like everything.
It seems like every time somebody dunks on you or dunks when you're near, it gets hyped. Like
it would sound like they'd be cheering for the other teams, like if other fans would cheer "Go Spurs, go." No. You would take it from them. So if you're beating them up, then you would use that chant against them, right? So like if another team did that against us, and let's say it was the Rockets, they could say like "Go Rocks, go" or whatever, Like we would know what they're doing. Like you're making fun of us. That's what I'm saying. Or like when Sacramento Kings say "hit the beam," if we're winning the game and we scream out "hit the beam," like that's funny. Isn't it "hit the beam" or something? What the Kings got? That Kings fan that used to be in the chat, I don't know what happened to him. Light the beam. Okay, yeah, light the beam. Light the beam. Like if you did that, that would be funny. You're obviously not cheering for them. They're losing. You're making fun of them. Yeah, or "Go Sochan, go." Exactly. Go
so-and-so posters, Victor Wembanyama, whatever. A lot of defenders don't put themselves in that position. It seems like you take more risks, or you just kind of okay with that. And it seemed like the Zion one, the Bam one tonight, you had some pretty good back and forth with them.
Yeah.
What's your mentality on that?
He's just playing, bro.
Downtown is part of the game. It's until it's not the case, I'm gonna keep going. Until I'm getting dunked on more than I block shots, I'm gonna keep going. But none of us gonna live to this day. So
I am very happy that Wemby got dunked on today, and I did not see a replay. I've only saw a Heat fan post it. I haven't seen a bunch of people reposting it. So I was dreading that moment. I was like, oh God, here we go, But it's so funny because people post it and they don't think, dang, Vic got dunked on, he's trash. It's more like, whoa, that's an incredible dunk that you just dunked on the best shot blocker of all time.
When you get into it with a guy like either Zion or Bam, whoever, early in the game, do you feel that kind of back and forth with them throughout the game?
Yeah, of course.
He got into it with him?
It's it adds one more challenge to stop your matchup's momentum. It's important to stop the team's momentum, but it's important to stop your matchup's momentum, and that goes as on both sides of the floor.
A lot of passes from Devin and Dylan. Do you think back to how difficult it was at the start of your career? Getting it where you needed it.
Still difficult, but it's
sorry. You said he ran past Wemby and dunked Wemby was behind. Okay, just so you know, every single time that's going to be the case. Okay, every single time it's going to be Wemby in a weird angle and someone dunking. I don't think you're just going to straight up dunk on Wemby. I think the only player that's didn't Ja dunk on Wemby straight up. He had one that was like Wemby was in a weird angle, but then wasn't there another game where he actually dunked on Wemby? Like that's like only player I can think of. Oh, didn't count. Oh, the Ja didn't count. Okay, well then it never happened. Like Yeah, it's always going to be at a weird angle. We're always going to have that technicality, like it wasn't technically a dunk on, you know? Like, we're always going to do that. Actually, hold on, I'll show you what we're going to look like when we're trying to explain to somebody that that he actually didn't dunk on them.
Getting it where you needed it, and now it's happening.
I got a picture for it.
Yeah, still difficult. Still difficult, but it's because there's defenders, and it happens in 1 second. But we're learning to play together, and I'm learning to position myself better to be available for my teammates. And but it's you know, like I could get 0 lob the whole season, and
this is what you look like.
Because like it's the first.
When you're trying to say that he wasn't actually dunked on, this is what you look like. You look like that. Actually, he wasn't dunked on. Actually, Wemby was behind him. Yeah, that's what you look like. All right, we look foolish. Don't be silly. All right, everyone knows. Get dunking on Wemby. No matter where Wemby is positioned, if he's in the vicinity, it doesn't matter. No one cares. All right, so don't try to defend Wemby in that way. Nobody cares. Actually,
only is the first thing the defenders think about. You know what I mean? But my teammates will get layups, so it's I trust them in that sense.
Devin said you told him to just throw it up to the moon. Do you ever get one all the way up there and you're like surprised that even I was able to reach that one?
Sometimes, but it's more when I have like a lot of momentum. The one Devin threw was high, but I was like standing. It was like a standing dunk, so I didn't get as high as I could.
What did you think of Devin's night, apart from the points he scored, but the rebounds, the hustle plays? Diving for loose balls, saving the one out of bounds near the end of the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's big. He's big.
Yeah, I know that's that.
I'm just thinking about him and Keldon, you know, who've been here a little longer than I have, and they're just finding their role and what pieces they can bring to the puzzle, and I'm just so happy. I'm so happy and proud of them.
That was a really nice moment at the end of the game where they were trying to talk to Wemby and he told his teammates to come over. It was also a really sweet moment at the end of last game, I think it was against the Nets game, where Wemby sat on the bench and he put his arms around Keldon and Sochan. This is a very cute team. It definitely reminds you of like the old Spurs, you know, like just the amount of chemistry and friendships that genuinely are there, you know. Like it's really cute. It's really cute. You can tell they all love each other. It's really nice. And this isn't like, and it's nothing wrong with this. I'm not judging any other teams or anything, and it won't be anything wrong if the Spurs did it, but I have a hard time seeing this team fight. Like, I can see them having a disagreement here and there. I could see someone maybe getting onto another teammate a little bit. I can't see them actually arguing on the sidelines. Like, that's something I can't picture with this team that we have. I don't know. Like that love between Tony Parker and Brent Barry. No, like the love between Tony Parker and Miss Barry.
As a playmaker with all those games.
I mean,
that's that real love.
Stop for the defenders. A guy you just can't ignore him because he's gonna. You give him even this much space, he's gonna take off and dunk on you. So it's if like his playmaking quality, he's always had that, and this talent you can't, like, he does stuff you can't work on, you know. He just has it, so it's it makes it hard to guard him.
All right, so we're at that segment now. So all my French people, if you don't have to, but if you would like to, please give a translation at the bottom of whenever this video is uploaded, so our people know exactly what's being said. Okay, knows exactly what's being said. Oh wait, hold on, we have somebody right off the bat telling us the French part He said that this game was difficult for both teams, and he took a bit. Here, actually, I'll just mute it and just have it play. He said that this game was difficult for both teams, and he took a bit too long to turn up defensively in this one. How come every time the French, like when it's French, the questions, I mean, I'm not saying our questions aren't good, but like the French journalists' questions are so top tier, and he always is always such good answers. I don't know. Anyways, tell us the rest translation later. It's all good. Ending segment. I didn't know they're still doing the French portions. Oh, they always do it. They always do it. All right. Last bit. Okay, we got another one up, right? Okay, thank God. Oh, gosh, we got a lot of them. What I really care about is Mitch Johnson, though. What I really want to see is Mitch Johnson. Yeah, I really care about what Mitch Johnson has to say. We got Steph Castle, we got Keldon, we got Devin, but I want to hear what Coach got to say. So before we hear what the greatest coach of all time has to say, if you guys are interested whatsoever in today's sponsor, Sleeper, go download the app. Just use the description. Go to the description box and hit the link, and you can use the promo code CLAN, and you'll get a 100% match up to $100 if you're interested in daily fantasy sports. Very easy stuff, very simple stuff. As you can see here, if we go over to picks, you can do the NFL, you can do the NBA, any sport, basically, any major sport. And yeah, it's just some over-unders, super simple stuff, super clean. You'll say, oh, I think this player have more points than this. I think this player have less than that. You can just do like 3 players or whatnot, win yourself a little bit of money. If that's something that you're afraid of and you're like, I don't really want to put any money out there, you get $20 entry right off the bat. So if you just download the app and get on there, you get $20 instantly that you can use. Now, if you don't care about any of that, like I always say, just use it for the social media aspect of it, where you can go over it, you can look at injury reports, you can look at updates, you can look at what's this say? Players to start the season with 5 straight 25-point games in Lakers franchise history is Kobe Bryant and then Austin Reeves. Good God. What? This says the Black Kobe. That's so stupid. But yeah, anyways, if you guys are interested, go check it out. Oh, that's one of our highlights. But yeah, check it out, man. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff. All right, let's take a look at what our boy has to say. I'm sorry, I said boy. What our man has. Let's see what our man has to say.
A few questions in, but I think it'd be nice to just say it up front. What do you think of it?
You ain't a man. I ain't seen one yet. I ain't even bleed him yet. Can I bleed him? Bet.
Excuse me. I thought his defensive.
Yeah, Batman.
And the ground he covered in the second half felt more demonstrative than the first half.
Do they know that the mic ain't working?
What do you see with guys in terms of composure in a game where you have a lead, lose the lead, grab the lead back?
I thought they responded great. We talked about it before the game, that that's a 48-minute game every time you play that team. They're competitive, it's a program, they're consistent. And so whenever you go on a run, that just gives you a little bit of support because you know they're on their way back.
This is very foolish, very silly for me to say, but I'm really hoping, I really want the Spurs to start winning so we can get some more RDC World skits, okay? Because it would be very funny, because they already did the Doc Rivers voice, so they'll be able to do Mitch Johnson easily. Be good stuff. If you could only save one, would it be Eminem or Wemby? Today? 2025? Wemby. I love M. But he said what he had to say. His story's out there. Some of the greatest music I've ever heard in my life is already out there. I got to say, Wemby. We still have greatness to come, okay?
And I thought we did a great job. Obviously, the zone got us on our heels a little bit. Overthinking, indecisive happens. And I thought Harrison.
RDC was at the Raptors versus Spurs game, I think. That would have been 2 games that they were at because they were at the Dallas Mavericks game.
Barnes did a great job of settling in, and then we started making plays and get back to playing basketball and got a couple to go in and got back to get our half-court defense getting set and made just enough plays.
You talk about Victor covering all that ground in the second half. He also played nearly 40 minutes. Can you speak on just the condition that he came into camp with?
I want to say this too, guys. If Kornet plays and Wemby was out, I still think the Spurs got a good chance to win it. Like, as great as Wemby is, the Spurs as a whole has been playing well. Everyone is going to say, because obviously this team is built around Wemby, but everyone's going to say, oh, it's Wemby, right? Like, it's all Wemby. But a big part of it is the team. Like, there's key plays that players are making apart from Wemby, right? Like, they're making some big plays apart from Wemby. When Wemby sat for that few seconds and they put in Barnes, right, at center, the Spurs made a big play like right after that. So they can score. They have a good team. It's not just Wemby.
I don't remember him having that much energy over the course of a 40-minute game or a 40-minute playing time last year.
In all honesty, it may be the most impressive thing in terms of, because then if you go back and look at probably the distance he covered, he was setting a ton of pick and rolls and rolling to the basket. The pace they play at is at breakneck speed, so the game really didn't stop, and it was a physical game.
Yeah.
On both ends, in a good way. And so for him to play through that, I thought there was one time.
And they're very well coached.
It felt like, obviously in the fourth, he got tired. You could see it visually, rightfully so, what he was being asked. We took him out there for 2 minutes. He came back and finished it off, and I think it's commendable. And something to your point, for him to play 40 minutes at that level of consistency and efficiency in terms of, missed a couple of shots.
Defensively efficient. Offensively, I thought he settled for a lot of bad shots. But like I said before, it could have just been that he was tired. So.
But taking care of the ball, making strong passes and rebounds was very impressive.
It was reminding me space of some of that unconventional stuff he's doing on offense. I think you guys.
What just happened?
About halftime set a tone. I think in the first half, the game got away from us a little bit, just in terms of
yeah, their mic isn't working.
The outcome or the score, but just it didn't feel like we were quite in it quite yet. Like we were just.
I think we match up really well against OKC. It is a good matchup. I'm just saying. Earlier, I was saying OKC is really good at that mid range, and that's kind of the only spot on the court you could possibly consistently hurt us at. With Wemby. But even then, you have Sochan on the court. He makes it very difficult for you. So, I don't know.
Kind of tiptoeing around, and you could see them imposing their will. And I think when we got to recollect ourselves at halftime, we started the third quarter with the type of urgency and competitiveness and aggressiveness that we wanted on both sides of the floor.
They only had 14 points in the third quarter, mind you. The Heat. 14.
And, yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily unconventional. It's just we get so used to all the pick and rolls that everybody runs.
Am I crazy for thinking we need to trade Fox? And then the chatter says, yeah, you're crazy. F out of here. Yeah, trade Fox is nuts. That's a wild take. You're a little crazy. You're a little crazy.
Right, they're just running less pick and rolls. It's not anything too outside the box, but they're playing downhill quick. And so it puts a ton of emphasis on getting back, and you're not always matched up with your traditional matchup or person that you're guarding in a half-court set. I thought we did a good job as the game went on, moving on from that mentality.
Couldn't quite tell from upstairs, but was that a teaching moment, substitution of Dylan in the fourth quarter when we got him out after his turnover and put him back out?
Dylan Harper had a turnover in the fourth and they took him out? Was that a teaching moment? I'm sure Mitch Johnson will be honest here. I don't remember that. I felt like I mean, I'm always honest. I feel like Castle made a lot of weird decisions. Worked out. His stats look good, but he made a lot of weird decisions, and they didn't take him out. But he did. At one point, Mitch Johnson did have Dylan Harper just run the offense. He literally pointed that out for Harper to get the ball to run the set.
Yeah, he just had a couple of times tonight. Again, I thought he was not looking to attack. He missed a couple shots early. I don't know if that played into it or anything, but and again, we did it as a team, but he had a turnover, and it was just because he was telegraphing the pass because he wasn't looking to attack. You know, that kid has the ability to be in attack mode at all times and still be able to process and deliver passes and make reads. And make
For real, bro. That's what makes him so scary. Like, he can play so fast and still make the right decision.
And I just reminded him of that. It was nothing.
Oh, I do remember. I'm sorry, guy. I do remember. Because, yeah, he subbed him out, and he talked to him on the sideline. I remember now. Yeah, because he was standing next to Mitch Johnson. Okay, that's what they're referring to. It was at 5-minute mark, fourth. It was like 10 seconds. Okay, I remember.
How has he responded to those kind of moments so far this year?
He's been pissed off.
I mean, his performance has been great.
He cursed me out.
Ready to go back in the game, but the 5 people on the court were playing too well, so I wasn't going to overthink it and got out of my own way and let those guys finish the job.
He called me out of my name. That kid got heart.
He didn't have a great shooting after three, but you're looking for him to hit those.
Yeah, I mean, we look for anybody to hit clutch shots, right? But he's stepped up and been able to make plays. He had some rebounds in traffic. And again,
you mean you recall because you didn't remember? Actually, Clan, did you mean recall? Because you didn't remember per se. So did you mean to say recall, Clan? Actually. Good God, man.
Recently, individually or as collectively as a team, to be able to not affect the next thing is a step in the right direction in terms of maturity and growth for this group.
A lot of these back and forth games where,
it's cold in here.
Back at the end and they're going to come back. How do you think this sort of benefits
keep falling
down the road?
I think if anything, it's just going to be a reference point, right? I'd say, I don't know, I'll make a number up, but 75% of NBA games or something like that. Very rarely does one team just lead the whole time, and so to be able to get in that back and forth and have some success in terms of learning how to fight through adversity, and when it's not perfect in execution at the end, I think it's something to, again, just to continue to learn from, and if you can improve on it while having a little bit of success, that's a positive.
This is the first 5-0 start in franchise history.
Yeah, technically speaking.
What does that mean to you as
technically speaking.
What's the biggest difference over those stretches where things can go wrong in the last few years?
I don't know. I think those guys, this group gets credit for the 5 games that we've won in terms of finding ways to win, because that's been pretty. In terms of the streak,
that's what makes us so scary. We don't have our players, and we're not as disciplined as we could be, and they're finding ways to win. But what's scary about this team is a lot of teams that will hustle and find a way to win. Obviously, they don't do well in the playoffs. But the Spurs, they're going to have a vet come back. They're going to have more pieces to the puzzle that's going to help with the overall picture of what this team can be. And they have the talent. Like, Wemby is so good by himself that it's very... He make up for so many flaws. So even team... It's like other team... It's more... This is the crazy part. It's more on other teams to play perfect than us playing perfect. We can make a multitude of mistakes in the fourth quarter, and the other team can play basically perfect or near perfect, and it still not be enough. because you'll have, okay, in any other team, this is a good shot. Wemby blocks it. This is an open 3-point shot. Wemby blocks it. My teammate is open. 8-foot wingspan. Wemby takes it. Like, it's like, so even if we're sloppy, you have to be perfect. So I can't imagine a Spurs team with even more talent and more discipline. I can't fathom how good this team. Like, this is a juggernaut of a team. Like, we're talking one of the greatest, maybe not this season, but we're talking in the near future, one of the greatest teams the NBA has ever seen. I mean, we might, I know people say not because of the CBA or whatever, but we're so smart, and the Spurs already have so many great draft picks lined up, or good draft picks lined up. Hawks might make it really easy for us. But they have so many things lined up well till we're smart enough that we can keep this train going. I mean, we might legitimately see a 90s like Bulls run, bro.
There's been so much success.
Because we don't have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect.
I feel silly, seriously, to talk about any level of these 5 games versus what this organization's done in the past. But this group definitely gets credit. They've figured out ways to win the first 5 games, and it's not going to get any easier.
True. Teams are going to put us on notice. Hawks might give us a lottery pick in 2026. Yeah, because I think Trae Young just got hurt. Is there any update on that? I was watching that game, and I saw Trae Young go down, but I didn't look into. I don't know how long he'll be out. Okay, so he still has to get an MRI. It's not like I want him to go down. It just happened. Let me see. Okay, so it don't look like he teared anything. At the very least, he might be out like a week or 2. More than likely, right? So I'm assuming. We'll see. Hurt by his teammate flopping. I saw him go down. I was doing the multi-view thing where I was watching multiple games at once. This is such a nice season because now I can actually go and watch other West teams. I can actually watch other West teams, and it matters for us, right? Like I've been trying to keep up with all the different teams, like the OKC, the Rockets, the Hawks. Like I'm keeping up with all these teams, and I'm actually watching their games. And I would see it. I would see it a little bit last season, but we were so focused on what the heck do the Spurs got to do to win. But now it's like I'm multi-viewing these babies, man. Like I'm locked in because I want to see like, okay, what are we going up against? Who's competing with us? And thus far, there's not one team in the NBA that I look at and I write off as the Spurs not being able to beat. Not one. Last season, it was several. Oh, yeah, AD went down, too. He always hurt. Can't wait to see how we stack versus the Rockets. That should be interesting. All right, it's getting late. I need to go to sleep. So I'm going to make this thumbnail and go to bed. I'm not doing all the other thumbnails for the other videos we got to upload. I'm not worried about that right now. I'll worry about that when I get to it. I'll worry about that tomorrow. AD is him. The fact that AD has so many like health concerns and he came into this season out of shape is insane. The fact that he did that is kind of insane. I also find it very funny that the Mavericks traded away a guy. They traded away Luka and drafted someone that they wish and hope will be as good as Luka. Like, that's so stupid. It kind of reminds me of that Family Guy skit. You know which one I'm talking about? He's like, you could take the boat or you could take the mystery box. Hold on, Lois. A boat's a boat, but the mystery box can be anything. It can even be a boat. That's what I feel like they did. Şengün can't defend either. He got a block. I saw a block that I was watching the Rockets game yesterday. I saw a block he got that was really good. But like, yeah, just a straight up defender. I don't think he's that good. But I did think one of those blocks was really nice. Another thing too about the Spurs is as many mistakes that they made, and they don't play to their competition, so that's not what I'm trying to say. But I feel like if a team really does bring it, they're not going to just lay down. They're going to process pretty quickly. And having someone like De'Aaron Fox, but also having someone like Dylan Harper, who's very quick on his feet, he's going to bring it to you. And it's nice that the Spurs are already setting him up. Like, you don't realize how often you could score if you wanted to. And the fact that they're basically telling him be aggressive is really nice. So yeah, that's really cool. Like, they're telling him right off the bat, be aggressive. They're giving him the green light, basically. Like, do what you want. Dylan Fox, All-Star. Yeah. Yeah, I slipped up. Let's see here. This down. Let's do. Gosh, I'm freaking trying to fit this 5-0 on the screen. There we go. Okay. Gosh, trying to make that thumbnail was weird. I think Cooper Flag is going to be a bust. No. Cooper Flag is not a bust. That is not going to be a bust. Honestly, I don't even know what the expectations are for Coop. So it's kind of hard to gauge whether or not to say, like, oh, he's going to be a letdown. Because I don't really know how people... Yeah, I don't know how people feel about him. For some reason, when I do thumbnails now, I can't just save it. I got to screenshot it and crop it because the app no longer downloads the freaking images anymore. I don't know what's wrong with it. It has been working for months now. It's weird. Do you think Fox is playing on Sunday? From what I heard, they're expecting Fox and Sochan to be back by Sunday. So we'll see. We'll see. Cornette, he should be back soon. I don't know if he'll be Sunday, but that will be on par with his timeline. But you know the Spurs like to play things safe. But that's what I heard. So whether or not it's true, I guess we'll see. That's what, at the very least, that's what I know. I know that that's what the Spurs are expecting. You know, anything can happen. They can say, oh, let's just give you one more day or whatever. But from what I heard, that's what I'm expecting. Wasn't it funny? Did you guys catch that Keldon Johnson said, they were like, you ready for the next one? He was like, I'm ready to play in front of the greatest fans ever. And I was like, is the next game an away game? Or was that his subtle way of saying he wanted to be traded to the Suns? But yeah. Where did you hear that? I can't tell. This is all I can say. Okay? I know a lot of people throw this out there, so it's like very, like you just roll your eyes when you hear it. I genuinely do have a source that's directly linked to the Spurs. There's no like he said, therefore he said, therefore he said, therefore he said. It's none of that. Like if I hear something, it's literally true. Whether or not things happen the way that they expect, that's another thing. But it's literally true. Just know that I'm not lying when I say that. I don't just throw stuff out there. So that's cool. Yeah. No, literally, there's somebody I know. Yeah. That's they heard. A lot of times what'll happen, and this makes it very easy to just write it off and be like, oh, whatever, bro. But a lot of times what'll happen is I'm not allowed to just say it. It's just like kind of information given to me as a friend, right? Just telling me, and they trust me not to just throw it out there or tweet about it or whatever. But a lot of times I'll hear stuff and kind of wait it out until like, this is what I do. If you guys really notice, this is what you can notice. Okay. We haven't had to do it lately because there hasn't been any news or anything. It's just been like really small stuff that I've heard, but it's nothing like crazy. But this is what I'll do. So this is how you know this is from a source. Okay. Is if I talk about something and it's reported, but like not many people are talking about it, but it's like this one lone tweet or one lone article or whatever, and I emphasize on it and I get obsessive over it, that means it was close. And that means I genuinely heard stuff, right? Like when we really went in on the Fox stuff, like you guys remember we were relentless with that. Like obviously people were talking about it, but we were absolutely relentless with it because it was happening. But yeah, so that's usually what I do. Therefore, I'm not like spoiling or throwing stuff out there, or getting anybody in trouble or nothing like that. But something like this ain't that big a deal. But that's what they're expecting. They're expecting both of them to be back on Sunday. Will it happen? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Ruru and Caps is the source, yeah. Objection. Hearsay. Please, I want to see Fox and Sochan. I want to see them so bad too, bro. I'm really hoping it happens. That's the expectation. We'll see. It's kind of funny because when we looked at the other press conference, Mitch smiled a little bit when they mentioned Sunday. So I think people over there even know. But then again, we were expecting Olynyk. I heard that Olynyk could be back today, and that didn't happen. So you never know. You never know. Just because you hear something, just because something's true and people expect certain things doesn't mean it'll happen. But I expect him to be back Sunday, but we'll see in a couple days. Yeah, I want them back so bad. Even if just one of them come back would be nice. I really want Fox to come back. Like, even before Sochan, I'm cool with Fox coming back because we need a point guard bad. Hopefully Jeremy's girlfriend will give him the green light. Oh, to play? Dang, forgot we had Olynyk too. Jeez, what a deep roster. This roster's crazy. I want to see Lindy Waters play, but we'll see. Who are you most worried about having a rocky start from the two? I'm not really worried about either one of them having a rocky start because Sochan's game is very, like, I don't want to say basic, but very high IQ player, but his role is pretty cut and dry. It's nothing crazy. Fox, I mean, he's been doing this for years. He's had a lengthy career. Like, I'm not really worried about him, but if I had to choose between the two, I would say Sochan. If I'm worried about somebody having a, like, a start to adjust or whatever, but that's it. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about Fox at all. Hey, I want to see Sochan's improved jump shot as well. Even if he's just doing what Dylan Harper's doing right now, like taking a couple a game, hitting, you know, at a pretty decent clip. Like, if you could just do that, that's cool. He didn't take any last season, really. I want to see that jump shot in real time. Yeah, he's been good. He's been working on it, obviously. Yeah, he worked on it big time. Yep. I think it's been levels to it. Like, all right, let's work on the arc of the shot. Let's work on this. Let's work on that. That's why we saw that hitch where people were like, "Oh my God, what's up with this hitch?" Like, I think Sochan even recognized, and the coach staff recognized, like, that's not going to be a shot that consistently goes in. Maybe he was just more so working on the formation. Like, they had to, his jump shot is so broken, and it was broken in college too, that they have to go back to the drawing board, you know, and rebuild it, you know, step by step with this jump shot. That's what it is. It's been like building blocks for him. It's not like a tweak here or there. Like with Castle, it might be just a tweak, right? Harper, it might just be a tweak. It wasn't a tweak. It was a whole, yes, tear this thing down and start from scratch. Well, not start from scratch, but you know what I mean. Like, we need the basics down. I mean, he's a better jump shot. He's a better jump shooter than I expect him to be. Honestly, I thought, I was shocked that he even had those months where he was shooting very well from three. I was like, this is way better than I expected out of you. Luke will be back so JJ Rhetoric doesn't get blown out at home. I'll be watching. What? What? When we play the Lakers? Wednesday? Oh, that's a late game. Oh, that's a late game. Woo, that's a late game. Woo. Woo. I can't promise y'all I'll be up for that. I mean, I'll watch the game. I can't promise you we'll be on live stream for that. 9 o'clock. What would I do? I don't know. I have to think about it. I'm too sleepy to think. All right, y'all. You have a great night. I love all of you. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the super chats. I feel like I don't say this enough. I really do appreciate that you guys think to come on to this YouTube channel after games. Like, it really does mean a lot in the support that you guys have brought. I've been on social media talking about the Spurs for a very long time now, since like high school. I used to go on Instagram all the time and just give my thoughts and try to bring people in and talk to Spurs fans or whatever. So it means a lot that now we're at this point where I wouldn't say that the channel's like successful necessarily or anything, but it's really cool to jump in here at the end of a game and like 500 people are here to talk about the Spurs, right? Like, that's so cool to me. So I really do appreciate it. And we're going to keep it going. And I'm really looking forward to next game. And we deserve this. We deserve these W's. Go Spurs, go 5-0. Yes, sir. Thanks, Jonesy. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I really do appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the love. And we're going to keep it going. Greetings from Mexico. Yeah, man. Yeah. Heck yeah. GSG. All right, I'll get with you guys later. Bye. Good night. You have a great weekend, too. See